Hello, everyone, and welcome to one of my, not first, but I haven't done a live Facebook video in a while. And so I thought it would be a great time to start sharing with you a little bit more about color, especially when it comes to your brand. So for those of you that are here, just post a quick hello and where you're from. And I'll just go ahead and get started. Hi, Megan. Yay. Hello. And whoever's shy, don't worry about it. Just hit a like if you're here. One of the things that many of us remember when we were kids was learning how colors were red, yellow, and blue. And when we mix blue and yellow together, we get green, and red and blue together, we get purple. So how many of you remember that? It's one of those things that I want to actually take out of the equation for today. Hi, Tarver. Okay, so Tarver's coming in from Virginia, and Megan, oh, you're originally from Phoenix, but you're in San Diego. Okay, good. So one of the things I really want you to recognize is that color is not what you learned in grade school. It's very different. So I want you to just kind of enjoy this a little bit as I take you through some of the really key things that you need to know to build your own brand presence. And it would be really interesting. Hi, Nicole. It'd be really interesting if you want to type into the comment section what your profession is. What kind of heart-centered work do you do? Because this hopefully will help. I can probably use some of you as examples as we go through. So I'm going to share my screen. Let's see here. Hopefully you can see that good. All right, so your true colors actually represent who you are on a cellular level. And what I mean by that is that you're not just your physical colors, although those are really, really important for how you present yourself and how you come across authentically to others. What's also really important was what's inside. And many of us know we're not supposed to judge a book by its cover, but we do. That's the human part of us. But the spiritual part of us, that beautiful divine part of us, doesn't, and we don't judge. And we want to see others for who we really are and who they really are. And so in order to do that, there's not only visible colors that will help us communicate who we are physically, but there's invisible colors that will communicate who we are internally, who we are at the core of our essence and our being. And so that has everything to do also with our personality and our emotions, but it also has to do with our own soul colors and how we present ourselves to the world in our own essence. So we each have a way of moving and being in the world, and color can help us communicate that in a really clear way without using a word. So, okay, so I'm seeing artist, okay, Megan, I'm gonna mess it up. Craniosacral therapist, homeopath, naturopath, got it, love it. And then also psychotherapist and artist. So I love this because many of you are already color lovers, so you get the idea how color likes to play and express. And this, we're just gonna now take these colors that are part of you and apply them to your brand. So let's see here. I think I have to, trying to hit the next. Okay, this is kind of strange how this is doing. I might use a different way of sharing my screen because I can't see. I just lost the video. There we go. Oh, so funny technology. So personality, the first thing is that your personality and your coloring are aligned. And what I mean by that, there's not specific, actually there are specific, there's not a specific color like red or blue or green that are associated with personalities. There's a specific type of red and green or blue that are associated with your personality. So they're really aligned. And what that means is when we think about how we create color, we take a hue from the spectrum. So let's just say red, for example, and we add, let's say, white, or we can add black or brown or gray. But let's say we add white. And when we add red and white together, we typically get a softer red. Some call it pink. I like to call it more of a sunset pink because it's a little bit more red than pink. But we get a different color. And when we do that, that conveys a different personality versus red, which is really vibrant and energetic. It can communicate life, blood, anger, passion. Yet when we take more of a version of red and change the color, the chromaticity and the value of it, then it turns into a different color, which is softer and more like a warm hug. It's more embracing. So this is how personality aligns itself with color. We can take one color and change its personality many different ways. So I call these the color types, and these are 5 color types that I've coined, but they've always been in the art world. So what I'd like to do for our first experiment here, if you play along with me, is, let's see, I'm going to have to figure out how to do this a little easier. I keep having to go back and look at my screen, pop up the thing, and then click back into the thing. Okay, so what you're looking at here is a range of colors. There's 45 colors here. So what I'd like you to do, let me just show the full screen for you really quick so you can take a look. I'd like you to select at least 3 that call your name. It can be any of them. So what we're really looking at is the letter more so than the number that you're attracted to. So pick 3 to 5 colors that really call to you. Maybe some are your favorite color. Maybe one is just calling to you and you have no understanding why. It's just you need to write it down. Okay, I'm going to give you a few more seconds to just come up with 3 to 5. Okay, do you have the letters? So you may have mostly A's, you may have mostly B's, you may have mostly C's, D's, or E's. Okay, so let me show you what those mean. Let's see. Okay, if you had mostly A's, you're considered animated. And animated are those bright personalities. They are considered very extroverted. And they love being around people. They love being the life of the party. They typically have really clear coloring. And they typically will have either bright coloring or it will be like bright red, or even if they're dark haired, there's something about their essence that is incredibly bright. They're the ones that come to the party and just liven it up. And for those that are mostly introverted, you'll find that they almost take your energy away. So for those that have mostly B's, then your dominant color type is clear. And clears are really clear, as meaning they have light hair, usually light skin, light eyes. They're considered very witty. They're very sharp. So let me see, how many of you, okay, Megan, you're dominantly D and E. Oh no, yeah, wow. Okay, so let's talk about the D's, because Tarver, you picked D and A. I get that. So if you're dominantly D, that means your personality, your color personality is dynamic. So all the colors are rich and warm. You yourself have rich and warm coloring. You may have lots of red or gold in your hair. You typically have a really resonant voice. And any of the warmer colors, when we add red or yellow to a color, we warm it up. Those colors are going to look best for you. If you picked mostly E's, then E's are considered very deep. They're mostly introverted. And they have really darker coloring. So it can be darker hair, darker skin, dark eyes, or it can be dark hair and light skin. But they love anything that's shaded with black. This gives a sense of mystery, more dramatic. It has a unique quality to it. Now, for those that were mostly C's, I don't see any C's here, but those that are watching later, the C's are what we consider the true introverts. They're the ones that love to be in the background. They're more subdued. All the colors are colored with gray. So everything's just muted and softer. Their coloring is that way. They also love those colors on them. So if you were to take an animated red and put it on a subdued personality, they're going to feel completely exposed. And the life will literally drain out of them. You wonder why color can do something to someone like that without really saying anything. But they have shown in research that color has provides physiological reactions to the human system. So that will happen to subdueds. That will happen to anybody. If an animated were to wear a subdued, same thing. You're going to feel flat. You're going to feel out of it. You're going to feel like all your energy's been drained. So it works the same way. So those of you who are mostly have a dominant color type, you want to focus on those colors, not only for yourself personally, because you are your brand, but also on your website and any of your marketing materials that you have. It really helps you select colors in a much easier way, because you see here, there's all these different colors, yet they're all different and they're aligned. They all have a different personality. So if you have a mix of, let's say, B's and D's, then you will combine those. You will have some of your colors that you can have a lighter, warm, dynamic color. So you could take this mustard yellow, for example, under the first row in the dynamics and lighten it a bit, and that would be both clear and dynamic. So you can definitely play with color. Remember, there's millions of colors to practice and play with. Okay, so I want to show you some examples just so you can see really clearly how this plays onto our own presence. So if I take somebody who's considered outgoing and her dominant personality color type is animated, and I put her in a subdued color that matches her eyes, it looks fine, right? But look at the difference when she wears an animated green. She immediately comes alive. So it makes a big difference. It's subtle, yet really profound. Same with somebody who has more deeper coloring. I use hers as an example, using a color that's very light and clear, like this blue. It kind of works because her skin is light, but when we put her in a deeper blue, then it really resonates with her and really shows who she is. She definitely has presence. The color is no longer wearing her, and that's what you want to be doing. So when you wear colors in your color type, and when you use colors in your color type on your marketing materials and on your website, you are seen for you, not for the blahness that you may think looks good for you. Okay, so I want to get to a color. One of the things I promised was how to add colors that can influence how others perceive you and to attract the right clients and the right relationships. And one of my favorite colors to do that is your fearless color. And as you can see here on the examples of these women, they're all wearing a different version of their own fearless color based on their personality and their color type and their skin tone. So you'll see here that the fearless color is dominantly blue-green, but it can go blue as well. So I just want to throw that out there. It can definitely go more blue. So we'll get to figuring out what your fearless color is in just a second. But I do want to show you the range because you want to make sure that whatever your fearless color is, you do it in your color type. So your fearless color, just real quickly, your fearless color is a color that helps you be seen. It's what I call one of your magnetic colors. And it's good for presenting. It's good for being on TV, getting your headshot done. It's good for conveying the message of confidence. It's not so much that it makes you courageous and bold. It is one of those colors that just aligns with you. It is the perfect complement to your skin. And because of that, it just solidifies who you are. So you come across really magnetic and fearless. You have this beautiful fearless quality to you. So what I'd like to do is show you the next screen, and I'm keeping this full screen, and then we'll go back to like seeing me part of the way. But I want you to stare. Some of you have seen this before, but I want you to stare at the black dot in the center of the screen, in the center of this red circle. And we're going to stare at it for a good 30 seconds. So keep staring. As you're looking at it, you might notice that the color red starts to pulsate, or it might start to look like a gray film is covering it. So keep staring. We got 10 more seconds. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch to a white circle, but I want you to notice the color that pops up for you. Okay, here we go. All right. So what you're seeing is the after image. It's what we call successive contrast. And it's the direct complement in light in how humans perceive color. So the direct complement to the red, now you should be seeing the white circle starting to come up after the rods and cones in your eyes adjust. You're now back to your normal state level where you can see the white. But you probably at first saw this, and it was probably less chroma, right? So that's what I love about this, is that it shows you the complement to the red, which we've all thought was really green, right? And it's not. It's the blue-green. So what I'd like you to do, and you don't have to do it right now, but after we talk, after this session, to find your fearless color, I want you to stare at the darkest part of your skin. So usually that's your arm. Oh, let me see if you can see me here. Okay, so usually it's your arm. So I would like you against a white piece of paper to stare at your arm, and you might have to do it for 45 seconds. And that's going to come up with a color for you. It's going to be lighter than what you're seeing on your screen now, but it is whatever hue that is, that's where you want to go to. So you want to go to that hue. So if it's a blue-green, then you want to go to a blue-green hue and pick the right color type for yourself, for your fearless color. If it's closer to, maybe it's more of a bluer color. So you want to make sure you pick the right one. And you can always go, I love going to coolers.co. You can go there. There's tons of places where you can select colors online. And if you can find the right blue for you, or the right blue-green that you found, then that will at least give you an idea of what color your fearless color is. Okay, so ready to move on? What do you guys think? You have you know your color type, so we know kind of what colors, what messages you want to be sending about your own presence, about your brand on your website. You also know that using your fearless color will not only be helpful for headshots and so forth, but it's also good for when you're out there presenting, doing podcasts, doing lives, I'm wearing gray and white today. I'm wearing more my approachable colors. But you have a lot of colors to choose from. And that's just one of them that I've found has been really helpful for a lot of women. I had one client who was so afraid of color. She was a brain surgeon. I'm not kidding you. She's one of the top brain surgeons in the country. And she was so afraid of color, but we picked her fearless color. She was going to the, why am I spacing on the name? The World Economic Forum. She was going to that and she wanted to look good. And so again, we put her in mostly neutrals because that's what she felt comfortable in. This is in my past life as a personal stylist. And we added her fearless color in a jacket, and it was a soft blue green. So it kind of worked with her eyes, but it also made her feel really good, even though she was afraid of color. And she met a woman, came up to her and said, wow, oh my gosh, that jacket is amazing on you. This is at the World Economic Forum. And she ended up meeting one of the queens of, not Saudi Arabia, but one of those countries, and I can't remember which one, but she was one of the queens, and they ended up becoming friends and working on some children's initiatives together. So it actually turned out really great. This is kind of what this fearless color can do for you. So it can open up doors for you. So wear it for networking or for those special meetings that you have to go to. Okay, so let me show you the final, not the final slide, but it's your soul color. So your soul color, just so you know, your soul color, many of you may already know this, but this is what gets into the heart of who you are. And each of the soul colors they have a meaning or a purpose behind them. So a lot of the times we think of what our soul color, our guiding light is. And our soul color is a color that our soul is born with. And it's one that follows us around for, if you believe in multiple lives, it follows us in every life. We have a life path color that actually will help deliver on the soul color's purpose. But these soul colors will have overarching purposes. So for example, red, the overall purpose really is about action and love and passion and community. And it shares this loving part of itself with red violet, which is all about compassion and beauty. And so they share this whole idea of love, where we have orange, which is more about being playful and fun and laughter. And so, but it's still an active color, an active soul color. And so they share this action together. And yellow souls are so non-judgmental. They're just full of this beautiful light and wisdom and clarity, yet they also bring joy, just like our orange souls do. And as we go along, you find that the green souls are all about growth and healing. And there's this acceptance as well, that they also are married to the yellow from that. Now, unfortunately, I gave blue-green just a little slice of the blue pie just to make it more even. But honestly, blue-green needs its own box, because blue-green is all about communicating truth. These are like the investigative journalists, and they're the ones that want to share the truth with the world, not their personal truth, but a truth, and whatever that truth may be. I find that most people have this as a life path color. So if your soul color is red violet, for example, and your purpose is to bring beauty to this world, and your life path is blue green, then you are to bring the truth of that beauty out. So that's how it works. Blue is all about peace, and they are the ones that are the salt of the earth, very loyal. They bring about truth. So you see this truth coming forward. The same with the blue violets, which are all about this third eye wisdom and knowing. They can kind of read between the lines. And they're right next to their violet counterpart, which is also very spiritual and creative. And they have this wisdom that they share. And the violets and the red violets share this transformation. So all connected, when we add all color together, it's all white light. So connected and together, we are better, because connected and together, we basically refract back into what we truly are born as essence, is white light. But we all have our unique expressions. And this is what we're here to do. Our purpose is to shine our unique light and to help deliver on that. So that's how our soul colors help us. So one of the things that, let me just check really quick and make sure if there's any comments or questions that are coming up for you guys as you're kind of watching this. Okay. So let me zoom in a little bit on this so that, and you probably can't read the tiny writing, but I wanted to show for you that our internal spiritual colors also play a big part in who we are. So your soul color is just as important in communicating your brand and your essence, especially as a heart-centered light worker, as your external colors. And together, when you work with them together, it really conveys authenticity. So I truly believe that there are more than the basic 7 chakras. I believe that there is way more than that. And our chakras also convey our emotions, what's in our auric field. So what's in our auric field is really part of our astral body. And outside of the astral field, which you'll see kind of on the right-hand side, is what we call the causal field. That's the soul field. That's where the soul color lives. So it's really a journey to find your soul color. And you can ask your higher self to show you. I have a free meditation on my website. If you go to the link that I provide, justbehue.com, that kind of takes you to a quiz where you can learn your color type. It also takes you to a link to go through the free meditation so you know what your soul color is. Your life path color is typically, not always, but most often, it's your favorite color. So you can use that unless you've gone through a session with me and I've kind of told you what your life path color is, go with your favorite color. So knowing this about yourself really helps pull everything together, the inner and the outer, so that you really are communicating who you are authentically. And that's super important. So one of the things that I do is, and I don't really talk about it a lot, but I'm talking about it more because it's so strange. So many people have been coming forward to me in the last couple of months asking for more help on their brand and their colors and how to convey more authenticity. And so I thought I would just show you this is just one person that I did the work for, Mia Bolte, who is a Buddhist therapist out of Minneapolis. And we did her colors. And also what I do is a session. It's a 2-hour session where I actually journey for you. And we connect with your higher self and your business guides and your spirit guides and learn more about what your purpose is, and not only colors that are for you, but there's also symbols that your higher self and your business angel will give you to use. And so what came up for Mia in her session was all of these beautiful flowers and this softness and this essence. And she's, even though she's very clear and direct, there is a softness and a subtlety to her. And so her colors are really more at the color type of the subdued and clear type. And there's some depth there. So we definitely added that in. But if you look at her palette, it's really conveys also what her brand palette is. These are the colors on her website. This is what came up for her as her logo. And it really it's been fun to see this kind of grow. And when people see her website that know her, just say, wow, Mia, this is totally you. So that's what I love about doing this work. It's not, for me, about creating a logo for you or creating a color palette. It's really about connecting you to your essence and having you actually see it. I've been gifted with sight, with being able to be clairvoyant and to see. And luckily, it's such a strange thing, but I taught myself Adobe Illustrator 10 years ago because I've always been a painter and a drawer, but I've never was able to do it with Illustrator. So I forced myself to learn it so that I could become just as good at illustrating as I am with a canvas. And I'm out actually a lot better at it than I think. I actually prefer Illustrator now. And so my whole site I designed myself. But the funny thing is that this is what I use as my tool in my toolbox. So the last thing I want to show you, is there any questions from any of you? I'm going to put I wanted to keep this at least to a half hour with time for questions that are coming up for you. Let me show you. This is the site that I have put up for you that shows just a little bit of tips to help you know your color type, to kind of connect to your purpose by understanding your soul color, and to really getting all these are freebies to help you as you move through it. I want you to know as much as you can. I know these times are tough, and whatever I can do to help you with that, I'm here to do that. So, yay, Megan. Okay, let's talk. Because the branding part is so important. There's unique symbols that our higher selves and spirit guides give to us that we should be using. We really, they're giving them us for a reason. And it's calling in your right clients, the people that you are here to serve. So any comments, questions as you went through this? Sometimes I think there might be a delay, but if not, then please just go ahead and go to Just Be You. And if you want to talk more about branding, go ahead and email me directly, Arden at ardenreese.com. And the Reese is with a C, by the way, not an S like Reese's peanut butter cups, although I love those, but it's a C. And I also have on my site, there's information. If you're really interested in doing the brand work with me, then there's some further information on there just when you connect from Just Be You. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. It was fun to see your beautiful faces, and I wish you a great rest of your day. Bye.